Welcome back into the channel. My name is Jay Lippman, and this is the Behind the Cage Door podcast, episode 13 of the Fighter Interview Series. Now, today's guest is a special one. I'm very excited to bring the proud representative of the country of Israel, Eli Aronov. Now, Eli is a former Israeli soldier who worked his way up to commander and is now 6-0. He's fighting in just over a month on the Dana White Contender Series, and I'm very excited to see what he's got as he tries and earns a UFC contract. I know he's ready, but you can find out in just a minute here with the interview. But before we get to that, just two notes. Matchmaker Monday, which I've talked about a bunch, is live. Me and my boy Jake Noaker recapped UFC 290, and we matched up 6 fighters and what fights we'd like to see them in the future. Now, we also, for a little spoiler, matched up Dricus du Plessis with Israel Adesanya. That's the 7th one, so don't worry, that's a free one because nobody would expect that one. Now, before we get right into the episode, this episode is sponsored to you today by Cold Water Plasma and Good State Health Solutions. Do you want to give your body a good state of health? Well, we've got the products for you. Using a nutrient deficiency testing, using your hair sample, we can figure out the exact product that you need. Not only that, but we have the awesome Cold Water Plasma, and these supplements are awesome and can fit exactly what you need. So go ahead and check the link down below, use the promo code Jake15, and go ahead and enjoy this episode. Thanks for tuning in. Welcome back, fight fans. Right now, it is episode 13, and I have an awesome guest here with me. It's Eli, not Eli, Aronov. How are you doing, Eli?
Oh, I'm doing great. Thank you for the opportunity to be here. I'm more than blessed. Thank you, Jake, for inviting me. Let's go. It's going to be an interesting one.
Oh, yeah, and I'm really excited to do this. I mean, I think a lot of people are going to know who you are soon, but they might not know who you are just yet. So right now, you're undefeated, 6-0 as a pro, and you've got a fight scheduled just in a few weeks here against Zachary Reese, who's also undefeated on Dana White Contender Series. So let's get started there. How are you feeling? How are you approaching this matchup with Zachary Reese?
So I'm approaching to this fight as I approach as any fight. Fight is a fight, you know. Sometimes some people said, "Oh, it's the fight of your life" and stuff like that. But if you think of it, if I lost my last fight, then I wouldn't be in this position. You know what I'm saying? So every fight is your fight of your life, you know. So I approach it as any other fight in my life. Of course, I'm aiming only for the win. I'm aiming for the finish because I know in this one I have to finish. And yeah, we'll get the job done and we'll win my contract. I'm sure of that.
Oh, yeah. And your style is one that I really enjoy watching. I mean, you throw bombs on the feet, heavy hands, you keep coming forward, and then you've got really nice wrestling. And I've seen you do it traditionally with double legs. I've seen you use some trips. So, I mean, what would you say your style really is?
So I'm always working on also a lot of new things and improving my fighting skills. As a fighter, we have to be on endless process of learning. So I'm already bringing more tools to my tool lab. How I don't know how it calls to my
The toolkit.
the toolkit, yeah. So yeah, so I'm bringing you're gonna see more stuff in my tools, but yeah, that's my style. I do think I'm a wrestler, so of course I'm gonna use my wrestling. I wrestle my whole life, and I do try to keep it pretty simple because as I see fighting, the simple thing is the things that make you win fights. That's how I understand it. So yeah, so I try to always finish the fight, always be very effective, and finish the fight. And yeah, use my abilities and my skills and my tools the best I can.
Oh, yeah, and I agree with you. I think the simple things are oftentimes what are the most effective. And I think eventually when you're doing these 15-round fight or 15-minute fights, you need to do those simple things because at 185 pounds, and you got a whole lot of muscle on your frame, so you got to be able to make it 15 minutes. And I really like that because you're a very smart and intelligent fighter. So where do you really think that you've developed that from? Is it from your coaching or maybe some life experiences? How have you really developed your presence in the octagon?
So I think it's mix of everything. Of course, it came from my coaches back home, Spirit MMA in Israel, Beersheba, and it's mix of like when I look at fights, I love to see fights. I see the things and I analyze them and I see as what I believe what works the best and what style I love and what fits me also. It's about fitting me, you know. Everyone has a different body type, different style, and as I see it, what fits me the best and what I think will make me win fights and what I love to do inside the cage, and that's how I choose it. And also I see what effective, very effective, you know, for me, for my body style, and I take the tools. I try to work on them because maybe I can do jumping, spinning, round kick. If I work on it, maybe I will. But first of all, I don't know how effective it is and stuff like that. Like I always say, how much time and effort I need to put in it, and what the result I will get. Maybe I will get one in my life, one good knockout, and it will be viral. But I see if I take other important stuff and perfect them, things that I use in fighting, and put my money and my effort, my time and my effort on them, and I will be good at them. It will take my fighting and my career longer and farther and higher.
Of
Uh,
course.
that's what I'm thinking.
And being a smart fighter is going to allow you to have that longevity that will eventually, hopefully, lead you to the belt one day. But I want to take it back to your roots a little bit. I mean, your nickname's the Israeli Tank. You're built like a tank. So tell me a little bit where that comes in and how you got your nickname.
Okay, that's a good story. So yeah, I was still back home. A guy, his name Bruno Tank Mendes. He's the CEO of Soul Fighters, BJJ. Don't know if you know him. He's the brother of Tanquinho, the older brother of Tanquinho, the guy who won the ADCC World Championship. So he came to Israel. My gym is Soul Fighters. He came to Israel and he's done seminar. And his name is Tanquinho, like Tank, but he's small. He's very small. He's short, and his name is just that's how you call him, Tank. Um, Tanquinho Tank, and Tanquinho means small tank. So when I finished the seminar, I came to him and I said to him like, "Thank you so much, Tank. I appreciate it. It was very good one, stuff like that." And he's like, "I'm Tank. You the Israeli Tank." I'm like, "Oh, Israeli Tank is good. It's good."
And you
And since
stuck.
that day, I took it. I took Israeli Tank with me on.
I love it, and it really fits. I mean, it really fits. I mean, your style, like I said, you hit like a tank, and you really you attack people, which I really like. It's a fun style, and it plays the Dana White Contender Series really well. And so, one thing that I want to ask you about is you are Israeli, and I'm not sure if everybody knows, but in Israel, once you reach 18, correct, you have to serve in the military. So, does your time in the military, do you think that has an impact on your MMA career as well?
So yeah, in Israel, once you hit 18, you have to go to the army. Of course, I served 3 years in the army. 2 years, actually, in my time, it was just a little bit less. They changed it a little bit, like 2 years and 8 months. But yeah, I served in the army. Of course, I was a soldier, a combat unit soldier, Golani 51. Served as a soldier, served as a commander. I've done the commander course. I was a commander too. So the army itself, of course, it wasn't so much about mixed martial arts, but it taught me a lot of stuff about life, how be more like it just give you bunch of skills and things you learn that will help you in life in general and will help you in fighting in general because it will make you just comfortable being uncomfortable, make you much stronger person because life in the army can be very tough a lot of times, and it just prepare you and make you more like growing man than a lot of you know
Oh yeah.
The army makes you stronger and more responsible and growing man. And I'm happy I served. I love my country to the death, and I'm happy I served the country, of course. And yeah, of course, our army helped me a lot in life.
Oh yeah, and I can only imagine how proud you're going to be when you represent the country of Israel on the big stage. I'm sure you're going to carry that flag out with you, and that's going to be a very special moment. But really, what I want to ask, so you were a commander in the army. Your nickname is the Israeli tank. Have you ever operated a tank?
I I didn't operate a tank, but in the army. I drive a very cool machine. It's called, in Israel Army we call it Tiger, but in Hebrew it's Namel, but in English it's just the translation of a tiger. It's just a tank without the stuff who shoots the artillery. So it's just a huge, massive vehicle that his operation is to carry a lot of soldiers inside, and it has some crazy weapons also. I'm not sure what I'm okay, I can tell, but yeah, I was the driver of this, and this is pretty much like, as driving, it's a tank. It's basically the same as tank. And I've done some military trainings with tank, of course, and stuff like that. Yeah,
You really are the authentic Israeli tank.
yeah, that's what they said.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And I'm sure America, they're going to be introduced to the Israeli tank very, very shortly. Like I said, on Dana White Contender Series. And you mentioned it earlier. On Dana White Contender Series, you know, you really do have to go for that finish. You really got to impress Dana White and Sean Shelby and the crew that they have there. So for you, how do you prepare yourself to go into a fight of, you know, that high intensity and with the stakes being so high and go for the kill?
So first of all, it's a mental thing. It's a mental thing. Every fight I go, I try to finish the fight. Every time. I never been in the fight like, let's just score the round, win the round, and stuff like that. No, every fight I go, I try to finish the fighter in front of me, because in the end, that's what it's all about. It's kill or be killed, and that's what I'm doing when I'm inside the cage. So the mentality stays the same. We need to be smart. We need to be persistent, and we need to do our job very good. And we need to break the guy in front of us and finish him. And again, the mentality stays the same. The training is hard as always, and just being pushed and make sharpening the sword, as we said.
Oh yeah,
And
and that toolkit's
sharpening
gonna get
the sword.
strong.
Yeah, so when we get to fight time, I do what I do the best, and the best is what I love to do the best is fight. It's finish the guy who stand in front of me, finish the guy who's tried to stop my dreams, finish the guy who tries to take everything I work for. And yeah, it's gonna be me winning on Dana White Contender Series 22 August.
Oh yeah, and you touched on it. It plays a lot into your training and your team. You know, you mentioned it earlier, Spirit MMA in Israel. But talk to me about what your training experiences have been like recently over stateside. I know you've been training with some top tier guys.
Yeah, so I made the move to train in Las Vegas. I'm training here with Dewey Cooper, BK MMA. Training with Dewey is highly intense, very hard, very unexpected. First, you always see on the face of the guys who came for the first training with Dewey is like, it hits different. His trainings are different. So yeah, I will do is my head coach. I will do my striking, and I do my training with Dewey. And I also train out of Extreme Couture. I go to Extreme Couture because Extreme, you have some of the toppest guys in the world, especially for middleweight. Like middleweight, they have, I think, one of the strongest middleweight rooms in the world. So I go there to get the experience from fighters like, you know, Chris Curtis, Brett Tavares, fighters the highest levels of the highest levels, you know. So yeah, I'm fighting in extreme 2. I do my wrestling over there a lot. I do sparring over there. And yeah, Marvin Vittori also. I'm training with Marvin Vittori, Edmond Shabazian, and a lot of good fighters, less known, but the level there is very high. All the fighters over there is very high, of course, and I'm thankful for the opportunity, you know, to train with the best.
Oh yeah. And I think over at Extreme Couture, especially in the wrestling, I mean, they're so well known. And Dewey Cooper, his boxing and his striking, I mean, very high respected gyms and very high respected level of competition. I mean, I'm a little jealous. I mean, you just named a couple of my favorite fighters in the world out there. I mean, really exciting guys and awesome guys to train with. What are some things that you're learning from this experience now stateside?
I'm learning a lot of things about being here. First of all, it's the first time for me not training back home. So when I moved to Las Vegas, it was first time to come here. And at the beginning, I started to learn the times are different. First of all, I needed to figure out the schedule, how it works for me the best, you know, because I'm training basically of 2 places with 2 different schedule. And yeah, so I'm learning a lot. Just to have like fighters of the highest level in the world, learning from them, you know, just like uh, training with them, and then after training, you get the opportunity to get some knowledge, or even in the training, of course. But just the confidence it give you to spar with Marvin Vittori. I sparred with Marvin Vittori every week for his fight with Roman Dolidze, and you know, just the learning experience from that, and the knowledge and the where it gives you a lot. You know, in general, it gives you a lot. Grapple with these guys, to understand the level, it gives you like a good measure where you stand. You know, and it gives you a lot of confidence, and again a lot of knowledge from of course from the coach Dewey in the striking, and his mindset and mentality, and all the coaches, and the how the trainings goes, and how you need to push yourself. A lot of things you also need to figure it out by yourself, because the gyms are big, and you're a small person in a room full of killers, which in the end you need to figure it out for yourself sometimes, when it's better for you to rest, or to do that, or to understand I need to go this training or this training. So yeah, but it's full of experience and full of knowledge, and I'm thankful for that.
And I can only imagine. I mean, Marvin Vittori probably is my favorite fighter. So I want to ask you this: is he what he looks like on TV? I mean, is he just as crazy, and is that chin just as hard as it looks on television?
He is he is crazy. He is a mad guy, and yeah, um, he is just like you see him on the TV. He has some strong hands. His hands are very strong. His punches are very strong. He always he has a very good cardio. His cardio is like, it feels like endless. And also about his grappling, I was very surprised about his grappling. His grappling is very good, of course. Of course, there's the reason why he's at the top of the food chain in his division. You know.
Oh yeah, and I think those experiences for you training with these guys, I mean, it really is going to build up your confidence, and it's going to allow you to be that dominant force that you need to be now to get the attention and get to the level of the UFC and to start thriving. So let's talk about Bo Nickal for a second. He also fights in your weight class, middleweight. He just fought the other night. So what did you think about that performance? Because he's another undefeated prospect on the rise, and maybe that's someone that you could match up really well with in the future.
Something interesting. I almost got the opportunity to fight him. This Saturday, I supposed to fight him. Actually, yeah, he got offered to fight me, and the second time he declined. The first time was in the Contender Series. He offered to fight me, and he declined. And now he declined. He declined again. Um, he took the other guy. You saw how it ended up. I think the guy was so nervous. Like, yeah, Bo Nickal, nothing to say. He said he's done a perfect performance, but I don't know. I think I could be done much better. Of course, it's a short notice fight, but I do think I can give him a harder fight, and of course, I believe I can win.
And you
Because
must feel the respect
the
by
guy
the
the guy was too nervous. The guy was too nervous about his wrestling, you know. So he was too nervous about his wrestling, and he came just start to swing big. Hopefully, he will get a Hail Mary, but that's not how fighting works, you know.
And Woodburn didn't have that wrestling background that you have, and I'm sure you felt the respect from him and his team by turning you down. But is that a fight that you'd like to see in the future, maybe?
Hell yeah, of course. There's no fight I'm turning down. There's no fight I'm don't want. I will fight anybody, anywhere, anytime. If you want to be the best, and my dream is to be a UFC champion, you need to fight everyone. You need to take every fight. Of course, if you're like in a good time, because you can't fight if you're injured or stuff like that. But in general, you need to fight everyone until you climb your rankings, beat the best. You need to move forward by beating the best guy in front of you. And I think who not taking the most challenges fights, it's not good for you, because some guys will take easy fights or will pick their opponents, like, you know, and then when suddenly they're got to a certain level where they have to fight someone really high level, and then you see them like they're like suddenly in a war with this serial killer, and they're in problem, you know. Suddenly it's not so easy as they used to, because they fought not the best guys in the world, you know.
Yeah, I agree with you 100%. I mean, we say iron sharpens iron, and
Yeah,
I really think so. I think that's what you're doing. I mean, and pressure makes diamonds, and so eventually it's going to pay off. And I'm really excited to see your fight on the Contender Series. But let's backtrack a little bit again, and let's talk about you personally. For you, does being Israeli and being Jewish, does that have an impact on how you train and your career as a whole?
I can say it's impact how I train. I can definitely say it's for me. It's very important to just one of the biggest things I wanted to do is to represent my country in the biggest stages of the world. This one is very important for me, because people nowadays, they think, Israel is this, is that. They hear a lot of bad thing about Israel on the news, and about like Jews. Sometimes people say they're only like this or that, and I want to show the world this. Look, I'm that guy. You see, Israel is on the map. Israel has good person, has a good people, you know, good fighters, and yeah, just to put my country and my people on the map, to show everyone we are here. We are here to stay, and we are good people. We are good people, you know. A lot of people think some bad stuff about Israel because of the news selling some bad stuff about them, but we are here to show them the different side.
Yes, and Israel, it's a beautiful country, an inspirational place. One that unfortunately, I've missed the trip a couple times to go on birthright myself, but I'm very excited to go to Israel myself. I have so many friends, and my
More
mom
than
is in
welcome.
Israel, and it's a beautiful place. And I've heard amazing stories about it. And I think personally, coming from a Jewish man in America, it's very inspirational, and it's very a proud moment to see a man representing his culture and doing it at the highest level with respect and with honor. And you're not the only one. I mean, there's a lot of rising talent right now. Do you want to talk about maybe some of the talent that you've worked with in Israel, and maybe even your brother? I know he just won a fight recently as well.
Yeah, of course, there's a lot of talent and fighters coming up from Israel. In the last like year, 2 years, there's a lot of guys fighting. We almost has like every weekend Israeli guy fighting on international like like organization and platform on Fight Pass every weekend. It's something we hadn't have before, and yeah, it's the MMA is growing really fast in Israel, and I'm sure in the next year we'll have many more Israelis fighting and climbing and getting, of course, inside the UFC. Hopefully, yeah. So there's a lot of guys coming up, climbing the rankings and fighting and getting closer to the UFC. So yeah, we're gonna expect a lot of Israeli fighters in the UFC. Hopefully, yeah. That's
Oh yeah,
that's that's a good thing. It's a very good thing.
and big things to come. And I'm sure it's awesome for you to be, becoming having this opportunity to lead the charge and be an inspiration to some younger MMA fighters and some athletes that might be considering taking the journey on the MMA journey. So do you have some advice to maybe some younger Israeli people out there, men and women, that might be considering an MMA career, and some advice on what they can do to get to the point where you're at, because you're at that stage where a lot of people are hoping to get to one day?
So, best advice I can tell you is believe in yourself. Believe in yourself, because I always believe in myself. A lot of sometimes people didn't believe in me or tried to tell me it's not good, it doesn't have money in it, it's not that or this, it's danger, whatever. A lot of things, and it was the hard times, very hard times. Was a lot of times were very hard times, and if you don't believe in yourself, you can't go through those times. So first of all, you need to believe in yourself. Second, you need to be consistent. Just show up every day, train. You don't see, because sometimes the days they become like, the days can be very hard, and you don't see the results, or you don't get something back on daily basis. You just show up to training, sometimes very tired, sometimes you don't have money, or sometimes there's a lot of things going on, so you don't see a lot of like things come back to you. But if you stay consistent and you believe in yourself and you work hard for what you want, just continue, and you will, small steps, fighting in another fight. Every fight is a war. Every fight is sacrifices and obstacles and a lot of stuff going through. But you fight every time, one fight in a time.
And I
And you
like to
keep
say you get
persistent.
1% better every day.
Yeah, you do everything you can to get better. You fight every fight in a time, and of course it's a long, hard journey. And for me also, it's only the beginning. Yeah, like, yeah, I understand I'm in a huge place right now that people just want to be here and be in this opportunity, but it's only the beginning. It starts for me, only the beginning, 22 August. So yeah, of course you need to surround yourself with good people. Like, I surround myself. Of course, my family is very supportive. I love them to death, and all my family are fighters. Like you said, my brother. He is a fighter. He's a true fighter. He just won a fight in Romania against an undefeated Romanian guy, which the whole crowd, like my mother was there with him and his girlfriend, and she told me like the whole crowd was like just booing and screaming so hard against him, just so hard. He said, like my mother said, it was so scary and so lonely, you're alone there. You feel like, but you see, he has that warrior mentality. He fought alone and he got the finish, of course. He's a madman. He loved fighting so bad. And my sister, she's a very BJJ competitive. She's now she in 1 month she's fighting in Mongolia in the World Championship BJJ, and she got the Europe Championship in UWW, third in the world, and other organization. Yeah, so fighting is a family thing for us. Yeah, it's in our blood. And yeah, just surround yourself with people who support you and love you, and a strong team. You need to find a good coach, strong team, and yeah, do it with love, do it with passion, and be consistent, work hard, and be patient, and believe in yourself. Time will do the rest.
Yes, sir. And you're really doing it, and you're following your own advice. You've got the people surrounding you. You've got the background. I mean, and you've got the mentality, and your confidence is radiating. I mean, it's really awesome to see there's all this positivity coming from you, and I'm excited to see it come together and into fruition into a fight. So, Eli, it's been awesome having you. I'd like to leave the floor to you. I'd like to see if you've got any closing thoughts, any thank yous, any shout outs, anything you'd like to leave us with before we close out today.
So just shout out to my sponsors, Vision and Beyond, Stas and Peter. They joined to help me to achieve my dream and to represent my country and my people not long time ago, and it's making the difference. They help me a lot. All the sponsors in general who support me from the beginning. There's some guys who supported me when I was like, they saw my fire in my eyes from the very beginning, and they decided to ride with me, and I appreciate the people who decided to ride with me since the beginning. I have a lot of guys. Of course, you can see them in my Instagram. I just appreciate everyone and everything, and thankful for the support of the people. I have a lot of support back home, people supporting me in my city, Arad, a small city in Israel, and in general, people from Israel. I feel a lot of love and support from them. So I'm thankful for my family, for my girlfriend, for my people from back home, everyone who support me, and yeah, I'm thankful for everything.
That's awesome. And before we go too, shout out your social media. Where can the people follow you?
On Instagram probably is the best. Eli, Eli Aronov. It will be Aronov 51. Yeah, hit me up. Ask questions if you want to know something. And yeah, I'm always doing my best to be available and nice as always. Yeah, hit me up, follow me, of course. Yeah, I'm down for everything.
Yes,
Jack, thank you so much for the opportunity to have me here. I'm blessed to spend time with you and to speak about myself and fighting in general and Israel and everything we spoke about. Thank you so much. I appreciate it, sir.
absolutely. Thank you for your time. It's been awesome to have you on. And just so you guys know, again, Eli, not Eli. We were talking about this off camera. Everybody's going to know soon enough.
Yeah, everyone will know soon enough.
Yes, sir. Definitely. Dana White Contender Series coming up soon. Eli Aronov, episode 13 of the Behind the Cage Door podcast. We're out of here.
Thank you so much.